This one's for the peeps who internalized that they were uncool or dorky or couldn't fit in when you were a kid. I just had a really powerful therapy session where we touched some of those deep, deep parts within me, and I want to share some of that with all of you because I know I'm not alone in that experience. I, like many of you, had many social experiences growing up that taught me that I didn't fit in. That taught me that there were some kids who were the cool kids, and there were some kids who were the loser kids, and the cool kids didn't like me, so that meant that I was a loser. I developed abandonment wounds around this. It's still stuff that plays out in my subconscious today when I'm in relationships and I feel like, someone wants to play with somebody else more than they want to play with me. It sparks those same feelings of abandonment. It sparks those same feelings of not good enough. It sparks those same feelings of really, it's like there's this internalized paradigm that I'm often not even consciously aware of because it doesn't match my conscious awareness of reality. But there's a subconscious paradigm within me that still believes that cool kid, not cool kid paradigm, as though there's this binary experience where all of us fall into two neat categories. Are you cool? Are you not cool? And this internalized paradigm believes that I am perpetually always in the not cool category. So anytime in my modern day reality, when there's a sense that somebody doesn't understand me, when there's a sense that, again, someone, is connecting more with somebody else than they are me, it's so easy for that paradigm to come up and for me to begin to hear those same voices, to repeat those same inner narratives of it's because I'm not cool enough. It's because these other people are somehow better than me. It's because I'll never have what they have. Something's wrong with me, etc., etc., etc. So if you get a triggered feeling when social dynamics play out, when somebody doesn't want to play in your sandbox, when you see other people who are connecting more easily than it feels like you connect with people, if you experience the same sort of triggered emotional response, if you catch yourself repeating some of those same narratives in your mind, if it brings up that same rejection you felt when you were a kid, then you know what this is like. Especially if this originated because of the way that you were socialized in elementary school. I want to offer some additional perspectives that I am tapping into, that I am embodying on deeper, deeper levels, that are helping my inner child contextualize and make sense of and understand what happened back then from a reframed paradigm, from a completely different understanding that is very disconnected from internalized blame, internalized, it's because of me. So here's the perspective that I want to offer. Society is fucked. The education systems are fucked. The way that we are socialized as children is toxic. Toxic. We deserved to have been raised in a community of support. We deserve to have been raised in a space where our emotions could be voiced, held, contextualized for us. We deserve to have been raised in a place where there were elders, where there were adults who could help us understand what was playing out, who could help us tap into our inner emotions, understand that we needn't have internalized the blame for that there's nothing wrong with us. That's the community, that's the culture that we deserve to have been raised in. That is not the culture the vast majority of us gets. The culture of elementary school is toxic. It's built on these social hierarchies. It's like your whole life at the moment. When I was a kid, school was all I had to look forward to. That was what shaped my days, was the social dynamics, was the learning, was the activities that we were doing in school. My life centered around school, just like many adults' lives today center around work. So we are heavily socialized, we are heavily conditioned by our school experience, and school is not designed to help us feel good and grow into happy, healthy, productive humans. School is designed to get us to perform. School is designed to get us to conform. School is designed to teach us to sit down and be like the other people, thus internalizing those messages of, if I can't be like the other people, there must be something wrong with me. School perpetuates these negative, toxic self-beliefs that we build about ourselves, that we're the ones who are the weirdos, we're the misfits, we're the dorks, we're the uncool people because we can't fit into those spaces, when those spaces are designed to exclude us. Those spaces are designed to squash any kind of difference, any kind of specialness out of us so we can move through the cookie cutter belt of capitalism, of colonialism, of plugging into a toxic society without thinking too much or asking too many questions about it. If we couldn't conform, if we couldn't fit in school, that is a huge strength. That is a sign that our spirit will not be confined in that way, that our spirit is meant to help things move in a different direction, not just like play up and fit in and like go along with the status quo and play like nice little cogs in the wheel. The people who were cool were not as impacted by those toxic systems and structures because they're less sensitive, because they don't think about it as much, they don't feel it as deeply. They're probably not the ones who are here to change the game. They're probably not the ones who are here to walk a different path, to bring positive change into this society, to relieve suffering, to reduce harm and trauma that's widespread across our world. The people who were cool and fit in, that's probably not their thing. Maybe it could be, but there's a reason why we fit in and there's a reason why we don't. Many of us have to fit in by chopping parts of ourselves off. Many of us can't fit in at all because we can't separate those parts of ourselves as easily. Either way, the parts of you that have been labeled as dorky, uncool, less than, not enough, those are your strengths. Those are your assets. Those are the parts of you that couldn't fit into the cookie cutter design. It was never because you are less than. It was always because you are more than. So it helped me vastly to go in and communicate some of this to my inner child on a very embodied level, to help my inner child really feel and understand the differences between the culture and community that she deserved to grow up in and the culture and community that she actually did grow up in that taught her those negative self-beliefs. Creating this kind of spaciousness and adding this kind of context for our inner child is something that can really help our healing journey, can really help us distance and disconnect from those repeating tracks, those old records, those thought loops that can play out and haunt us. Mine have haunted me since I was like 10 years old. They can haunt us for decades until we take a moment, unpack them, be with our inner child in it, and allow for there to be an inner shift. So maybe this can help you offer your inner child a deep breath, some spaciousness, some expansion, some awareness that there is a broader context, and the broader context is responsible for what you experienced. Your own innate goodness or badness was never a question. It was never your fault. It was never your responsibility. It was never because there's something wrong with you. We live in a messed up society. Many of us are here to change that. That's why we can't fit into it.